All right, good afternoon. It's a hot, sweltery, humid day here in Alabama. I don't know what's going on in your neck of the woods, but um, it's a little bit hot. So we're having a good day though, and man, I just had a great day. Uh, Training some new guys and just living life and loving life and enjoying what's going on. Man, life's too short not to have a good time in the process if you can. And we can always have a joyful attitude. Sometimes circumstances don't line up for us to have that lucky, easy go lucky kind of a deal. But we can always make the best of a bad situation simply by our choice. And so that's where we are. And that's what we're talking about here on a regular dose of Be Refreshed. We just like to talk about life. And we're working on a theme right now that we're calling Letting Life Get Better. And I don't know if that's resonated with you yet. I know I say it every time that we gather here in the afternoons, but it's so important that you grab that and make that a part of the wheelhouse of your life. Anytime something's not right, you feel a little anxious, you feel distressed, you feel whatever's going on, angry, whatever emotion that you're feeling that you can tell is not a healthy aspect, wherever you're frustrated with things, ask yourself this question: how can I let this get better? Right? How can I let this get better? What do I need to do to let this get better? And it's a powerful question. And then we run it through the grid of Scripture, because sometimes our idea of letting life get better would be to go punch somebody in the face, right? So we're not talking about that. We're talking about things that just simply what we can do to change the situation. And so we've been bringing that into the 7 areas that all of us deal with every day of our life. These 7 areas, you're always in contact with them. You can't get away from these, right? There's fitness, which we determine to be health, whether it's emotional health, mental health, or physical health. That involves what we put in our body, how we work our body, how we care for that, our mind, what we feed our mind on, what we train ourselves to think, and our attitudes and our emotions. That we learn how to control our anxiety. We learn how to control whatever anger issues, all those emotional issues. We do the same thing in the area of finance. Man, if you just lay aside a budget or whatever, and you're undisciplined, you can find yourself messed up in a hurry, right? And so, how can we let our finances get better? How can we let our family get better? How can we let our field, that area where we work, where we devote our time, whether it's as a student or whether it's as a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, or whether it's a work, how can we let that get better? How can we let our friendships get better with others? And how can we let fun happen in a way that we can do that better, right? Those are all the areas that we move in and out of. And these are the things that we talk about in our ULA digital platform. It's a personal growth platform that helps us really create balance and growth in those 7 areas as we begin to discern who we are based on some questions that we have inputted into the digital platform. And then it has spit out for us kind of what it sees as our strengths and weaknesses in those areas. And then it begins to teach us through some videos and some reading and some information just to help us get better at all of those areas. And so we established 3 goals in every one of those 7 areas. And so we have 21 goals. We shrink that down to say, I'm going to focus on these 7. I'm going to focus on this 1. Then we just write 3 action plans a day or more that we say we're going to do that's going to help propel us toward that goal. And it's been powerful for me and Tammy and for a lot of my friends. We're seeing some great success. Life is getting better. I've tested kind of low in my wheel on the area of fun, which is strange, but I know I'm in a season of really kind of focusing on work a little more than necessary. And so, man, it's up their game. And it's what drives a lot of what we're doing now on the weekends and other things, just to make sure that we are slowing down, we are having fun, and I'm just watching my life change in so many different areas. And so I want that for you. So we looked at that, and then we looked at the issue of what we call blockers. There's certain things when you start trying to grow your life. You're a Christ follower, don't think that Satan's not going to come in there and try and sabotage that. Your flesh is going to grab a hold of you, and the world is going to kind of get in the way. All of these things kind of gear us down in that direction. And so what happens is we usually let some strongholds that we've allowed to kind of creep into our life. We don't know where they came from necessarily. They're just there, and we've grown comfortable with it. Kind of like what happens when you're comfortable with your living room, and somebody comes over, guests unexpected. You start thinking, oh man, this is nasty. I should have cleaned this up. I should have swept that under the rug. I should have done whatever. There's a reason when all of a sudden we realize, man, I've got these issues I need to deal with. And they're called strongholds. And we looked at them. We looked at fear. We looked at guilt. We looked at anger. We looked at self-sabotage. We looked at laziness. We looked at envy. We looked at a lack of focus. You can go see those. Just go to my personal page where you're watching this. Throttle back. Go down, and you'll find all of them there. So we've begun now to talk about what is my favorite thing. How do we accelerate this? All right, so I'm on track, man. I mean, I'm seeing some growth, but it's not as fast as I want. Are there some things that I can do that will really fast track this thing, that will really propel me forward? And there are. And so what we've looked at yesterday was this concept of gratitude. That by far and away is one of the greatest attitudes that we can have, just a thankful heart. We looked at that. We talked about how it's a game changer for us. When we start being grateful for our family instead of finding the things that we don't like about our kids or our spouse or mom or dad or whatever, and we just focus on what we're grateful for, the dynamic of the family changes. I mean, in a skinny minute, it'll change. Same thing with your friendships. If you quit just being upset because your friends won't do this, that, and the other, and you can't seem to control them, if you just go, you know what, I'm just going to be grateful for the friends that God's brought into my life. And the same thing in all the areas. Find gratefulness. Look, you may not have all the money you want, you may not have as much in savings as you want, but that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy life. That you can't take the little maybe that you do have and how to maximize it in order to enjoy life and have fun. Tammy and I have spent our whole life knowing how to do things on the cheap. We've never made a lot of money, in most of the seasons of our life. And so we've always had to pinch pennies and be careful. But it hasn't kept us from doing some incredible things. We've seen a lot of the world. And we've done a lot of activities that other people just wish they could have. But some of it happens because you have these accelerators in your life. Today I want to talk to you about the second accelerator, and that's this concept of love. It's a powerful, powerful accelerator. And I don't necessarily mean like the agape love. I'm certainly not talking about the eros kind of love, the sexual love. I'm talking about the good old-fashioned brotherly love. The one that flows out of the golden rule. Do to others as you would have them do unto you. If you just practiced that golden rule and just unleashed your love, which is a choice, by the way, all of these attitudes are choices. The reason why you don't have the gratitude or the joy or the love in your life is because you've allowed some thinking to go on, whether it's a victimization thinking that people owe me and life's not fair and you get all angry and bent out of shape about that. That's your fault. You've chosen to grab hold of what we call stinking thinking. But if you choose to think rightly, if you choose to think in a healthy way and decide that I'm going to regard others as more important than myself, that's a hard thing to do. That's called humility. Most of us don't like that. It will pay you dividends like nothing else. People don't like arrogant, selfish slobs. So stop being that. Be someone who puts the other person first, who says, if the tables were turned, how would I want to be treated? When you do that, you unlock this ability to love others. And it's a choice. Get your eyes off yourself. Quit. Everything's not about you. And when we quit making everything about us and we choose just to serve others, we find that it just lifts every area of our life. And so it's amazing. Love is one of the most attractional qualities that we possess. Right? Listen, I was talking about this last night. I was talking about this today with some friends of mine. When you find someone, we used to teach our kids how to play pitch conversationally, right? So I'd get them out there with the ball and I'd throw it to them and they'd throw it to me and then I'd hold it. And they go, well, Dad, aren't you going to throw it? I'm like, well, no, I like it right now. I'm going to hold it. Well, let's play pitch. Well, we are. Well, Dad, you're holding the ball. Like, that's what happens in conversation. If all you're going to do is talk in a conversation and if somebody says, how you doing? And you just explode all about what your life is and you never say, hey, man, so what's going on in your world? If you don't ever have a give and take, you're going to walk away from that conversation. People they're not going to remember you. Because if we're honest, we like the people who want to know us and who engage in conversation about us. That may sound weird and selfish, but it's just human nature. And so an attractional quality is someone who loves others, who genuinely wants to know, hey, so how's your day? Hey, so what's going on? Right? To know what's happening, and so that you know people's names. That's a crucial thing. That's attractional, man. When you take the time to know somebody's name and call them by their name, they feel loved. They feel known. They feel understood. When you say, hey, man, how's your dog? I know you're struggling with that. Or how's the marriage? Or how's the new house coming? Or how's whatever? You start engaging like that, I'm telling you, your life will take on a whole new meaning. When you genuinely love others, they're drawn to you. We call that attractional. And it's an important word that we use to say that we need to be I wanted my kids to be attractional. When I wrote a book on parenting, my editor kept saying, well, I can't find that word in the dictionary. I'm like, I know. We kind of made it up. Attractional. It means that you have a personality that attracts others. So you are therefore attractional. And so that's what we call it. And I don't mean the syrupy, sweet kind of stuff, but the love that simply flows from genuinely caring about others, using your gifts and your talents and your abilities. Maybe it's gift giving, maybe it's words of encouragement, maybe it's letter writing, maybe it's hugs and healthy touch. I don't know what that is, but be that. Just unleash that in your life. When you love someone, here's what happens. When you begin to love someone, you cover up their faults. Scripture says love covers a multitude of sins. We're much more forgiving of our friends than we are strangers. Why? Because we love. So when you start loving everybody, you're going to realize that your negative attitude of faults and why don't they do this and why don't they stop that goes away. When you throw away that list of things that people have done to you wrong in your family's going to get better. You're going to see the family you want will begin to come into focus. Same thing in the area of friendships. When you quit trying to keep a list of all the dirty things your friends have done and you just love them, you're going to find your friendships are going to improve. When you refuse to be offended by someone of something they say or do, and you unleash that, it's attractional and people are going to feel drawn to you. Life is just going to be better. It will. Your money will improve. I promise you, all these things will happen. Your financial situation will improve in the same way by this. I can tell you story after story, and you'll think they're hokey when I tell you how we didn't have enough money to do this, that, or the other, but we just love people. And in the process of building currency of love toward people, when you have a need, you don't even have to say anything. People begin to meet that need for you. We've seen that time and time again. See, and this attractional thing, it's God's will for your life, right? It's God's will that we be loving people. He commanded that. It's also when you and I quit trying to find faults in each other, that's a piece of it. We quit making heavenly citizens arrest and start, picking out every flaw everybody does. That's what happens. Instead, when you and I choose to just deeply love and encourage each other and do good deeds for each other, just think about people. Just do that. It's a game changer. So listen, just go love deeply today. Start getting and practicing the art of forgiving and forgetting and the art of refreshing others. The scripture says, he who refreshes others, in fact, that's the very verse of which be refreshed hangs everything on. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. It's a cyclical deal. If I take care of you, God will take care of me. If I refresh you, I'm going to find that my life is refreshed. It's a true, powerful, biblical issue. So listen, just unleash that love. Get that in your spirit. When you love, everything's better. Everything. And so that's what I wanted to come by and share with you today. So come on, practice that. Let's get our gratitude on. Let's get our love on. And let's watch our goals come into focus, and let's start knocking those things down. All right. Listen, if you want to know more about ULA, I'm going to drop some videos you can look at in the comment section, and you'll be able to kind of just at your own pace. They're short videos, but it's going to tell you a lot about what we offer. I'd love to hook you up with the app, and I'm a brand ambassador for ULA, and I'd love to help you get in the game. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Love you guys. Until tomorrow, you guys have a great day, and Lord bless.